Hello everybody, I'm glad you're here today. Today is August 11th, 2024. In this video, I'm going to bring you a word that I wrote down on August 9th, 2024. We're going to hopefully have time to read out of 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And I'm going to show you one little sale I found that you may want to participate in. I don't know if it's, well, I don't even know if it was a sale, but it was a darn good price, and I'm going to share that with you in a little bit on an item you need to be getting a lot of. That's easy peasy. So, and then, oh yeah, I had a viewer, and friend slash viewer, give me a tip. I'm just going to bring that to you right now before I forget. This viewer was military, was military, and mentioned, hey, one way to start catching water is like put a 5-gallon bucket in your shower. When you're heating up the water, catch that water, and then find a place to dump it and build up your water supply that way. I thought that was a really good idea. In real bad times, you're going to need water to put in the tank to flush your toilet. So at least for a little while, until that doesn't work. But anyway, I thought it was a great tip. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me in that email. Now then, my life, the world. My life has been like jam-packed with peopling the last few days. Since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, this is Sunday. So I do good with people for a little while, but then I have to really kind of unplug and step back. And that's where I am right now. Because you kind of hit that wall and like, I got nothing. I got no conversation in my head to say one more word to you. So that's where I am at. This is truth. On Thursday, we were getting ready for a massive funeral at our church with a family doesn't have a church home. And so we're a community church. So obviously we're open to the community. And I mentioned in a post I put, it's in the community part of the channel, that this little girl was 4 years old. All right. She was special needs and wasn't expected to live a day. She lived 4 years. And I'm just going to say this about that. People like this little girl can teach us so many things. All right. People who are special needs teach. I'm just going to open it up in the comment section below. If you have learned anything from the special needs people in your life, the special challenged people in your life, put it in the comment section what you have learned. Because I don't think there's enough room to put down what I learned from my daughter who wasn't born special needs, but she was born with cystic fibrosis, but then she had a surgery that caused brain damage. And then we were on a whole nother path again. But this little girl taught her family many things, even though she was blind. She could not speak. She could not move. But she could hear and she could feel touch. Her brain was not connected, the two sides of her brain. So that's what their challenge was. And it was a funeral that you go, hey, look, you know what's important in life? People, relationships. That's the only commodity that's eternal. So my takeaway from that, even though it was emotionally exhausting as well as physically, because there was like 100 people. We fed 100 people. The community brought tons of food as usual. Dusty, the mortician, was there. He was a rock star. And so anyway, it was the whole gang. We were all together again doing a funeral. So it all worked out, and it was an honor to serve that family for sure. So that was exhausting. Good and exhausting. Then Saturday, we're still cooking because today, Sunday at church, we had 4 people get baptized. 4 baptisms. Just boom. Amazing. Pastor Larry, our preacher, had been studying with these people, studying the Bible, what it meant. And they were like, yeah. So we knew this day was coming. And so we had over 80 people visiting. Actually in attendance. And we yeah, to see those people come out of that water, um, with just this joy on they were glowing. They were glowing in the Holy Spirit. It was amazing. Then we had a potluck. And once again, we had leftover food from the funeral, so we heated that up and put that out. And then everybody had brought food. Mike had smoked a brisket, my husband. So that went real fast. I didn't even get a bite of it, but that's okay. I'm glad everybody else did. And yeah, so we're just now getting home from that, and I wanted to make this video and say, even though the world feels like, and it actually is, unraveling, there are baptisms going on, and there are funerals going on, and the cows are grazing outside my house per usual, even though it feels like we are all holding our breath for this attack that is imminent. We don't know how bad it's going to be. We don't know the repercussions of what's going to happen in Israel and Iran. I know the Israeli people got a prepping, not as thorough as the Latvian in case of war thing, how to act in case of war, but something along that line. Be ready. And it's my understanding that had not been public, public service thing, is public service announcement, that had not been distributed to the Israeli people since the 90s in the Gulf War. That's my understanding. Correct me if I am wrong. But so they're expecting quite a bit more than what we had in April. That's my understanding. Time will tell, right? Time will tell. I can only pray and do what the Lord's telling me to do here in my home. And that's all you can do too. You just take care of your own business and do what you need to do, however the Lord leads you. Okay, however the Lord leads you. Okay, now, so that's the world news. I'm watching NY Prepper. I'm watching Duramax World News. I'm tuning in. I'm not on it. Like, let me tell you something. The last 3 days, I'm like, I don't know what's happened. Because I've been so busy with other things. But, and I still am not up to date. I do hear the island of Cyprus being brought up quite often. And remember my daughter's dream about the EMP over Cyprus. So I found that I keep hearing that in reports. I know that there are military bases there, the British especially, but I'm not sure that the Americans don't have one there too also. So since we had that dream that was just so direct, it was that trajectory. Not mass trajectory. What was it? What was that? Y'all, I cannot remember the word that my daughter dreamt. You're going to have to put it in the comment section unless it comes to me maybe in just a minute. But anyway, yeah, I can't get it. It ain't there, y'all. Does it ever hit the brick wall for you in your brain? That's where mine is right now. So anyway, but that particular dream had the Isle of Cyprus being hit by an EMP, and then we in the United States were taking cover also. So those are things I'm here. My ears perk up every time I hear that. So that word is still not there. All right, so here is the thing I found on Walmart.com. They did deliver this to my house because I don't like to go to Walmart. Y'all, it's simple, easy peasy. Oatmeal. Come on. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this in cookies, and you can't go wrong with it in breakfast cereal with a whole bunch of butter and brown sugar. What do y'all put in your oatmeal? I'm curious. One time I tried craisins. I'm like, I don't know what this is. This ain't good to me. Just give me some more butter and sugar. So, and then I put a little oatmeal with it. That's how I eat oatmeal. I mix up my butter and sugar and then add just a little bit of this to make it legit. So, but anyway, this is a great survival food, obviously. If we made this every day, I would go through this quickly for my family of 4 to 6 people. This is 42 ounces, and I got it at Walmart for less than $6. It was like $5.25 or $5.28. I can't remember what it is. It may have been $5.78. Doesn't matter. It was less than $6. I can't find this in the store, including Dollar General, for less than 10. That where I'm at. So that's me and where I'm at. Stock up on this if you need to. All right. I have put, when I get this, I have done two ways. I have vacuum packed in, seal it with, take the air out of it, vacuum seal big bags of it. I have also put it in mason jars and done the sealing, like the dry sealing with the suction thing. So you do what you need to do. But that's a great prepping item, and it doesn't, it's going to stay good for a good long while, y'all. Okay, so that's that. Don't forget those things. The bucket in the water. Get a good way to store water and start your water prepping. Y'all have been giving great encouragement. I mean, I am touched, actually. The encouragement and kindness and Bible verses and what people are writing in their journals, even if you just put a heart and prayer or whatever, the prayer requests, the people responding to the prayer requests, all of that in the comment section, amazing. That's where y'all live. All right. I live here in front of this camera all by myself. And I wish we could just chit chat back and forth. But, that's where the comment section comes in handy. So, yeah, I do the very best I can to respond to that. I do read as many as I can, for sure. And then sometimes YouTube is like, I don't know, I don't even see it, which is, that's weird. That's the life we're living. Okay. Now then. I'll go ahead and read this to you. I will share that. Y'all, I'm so tired. So if I get a little noodly here, I'm sorry. But I don't know if you've ever heard of the person named John Paul Jackson. He lived and had a ministry back in the 2000s, maybe the 90s. He has some sermons on YouTube, but he was very gifted in the prophetic, and he was given what he calls the perfect storm, which was a series of visions and prophecies, I guess is how you would couch it, about what is coming. All right. Now, there are many that you need to find it. It's called the perfect storm, and it's John Paul Jackson. If you can listen to that, all right. It is remarkable how much of what he is saying is happening now, even though he's passed away. I think he passed away in 2012. I'm not sure, but he's been dead for a while, and would not know what we're living in now. But sometimes I tune into him every once in a while, every, 4 or 5 months, just to see where we're at. I mean, I'm just like, now where are we at? Oh, okay. Israel bombing Iran. Okay, great. Because that's what he saw in one of his visions one time, way back when. So, if you have time to listen to him, you might Google him, or, put it in YouTube and see what you can listen to. All right, this word I am going to bring you. I was worshiping. You need to square this with God and the Holy Spirit, however you deem that to be. Here we go. August 9th, 2024. Write this down, my daughter. Do you hear the beatings of the war? Scratch that. Let's start over. Okay, sorry. August 9th, 2024. Write this down, my daughter. Do you hear the beating of the drums of war across the earth, its vibrations reverberating in the vast sky? The war cry has been released from the lips of your enemy. He is coming for my children. For your enemy is not flesh and blood. Be mindful of this, as flesh and blood comes against you to destroy. See past the physical and know my spirit within you during the coming hours. I see what rises against you, for it rose against me first. I know this enemy. You, child, need to know the unshakable truth. I am always with you. I overcame, now you are overcomer, as you follow in my steps. Fear not, for you are more, I say more, than a conqueror. You will overcome the power in the world that is set against you. Your battle cry in the coming hours is this: Jesus. The very utterance of my name inside the darkness brings forth light, love, hope, salvation, strength, power, forgiveness, mercy. My name spoken by my remnant changes everything. Carry on courageously, my lovely one, for the hours are darkest before the dawn. I thought that was profound. Whatever you glean from that is Holy Spirit. If it's positive, that's who it's coming from, not me. Now then, there are many verses like that actually, we've been made more than conquerors, and nothing can separate us from the love of God. That's Romans 8. If you ever are needing to be have some stabilizing, lifting up, read Romans 8. That's a powerhouse of a passage. Okay? I am actually going to read out of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, and we're going to kind of skip a chunk or two, but here we are. And as we see what is coming, and I don't know if it's coming our way, I think it will be on our shores one day. I think I'll see it in my lifetime, probably my near lifetime. In the near future is what I mean. Regardless, I belong to the King, and there is nothing that can separate me from him and his love. The spirit within me is greater than the spirit of the world, which is Satan. That does not mean bad things are never going to happen to me, because bad things do happen to me and have happened to me. But what that does mean is my spirit is an overcomer because of Jesus and my commitment to him. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Anyone who wants to go to the Father has to go through Christ. There's only one way to get to God, and it's Jesus Christ. Do what you need to do. If you need to make some decisions regarding that, then you make those decisions, because time is running out. All right? So, here's Paul talking to the church in Corinthians again. I think this may be what's considered by scholars the third letter to the church at Corinth. And then there was another one after this. I'm thinking that's how it was. It may be. Anyway, Paul was writing to the church in Corinth was kind of a train wreck for a while. And but this is talking. Paul is talking about, hey, this is a hard walk for me too. All right. So he wanted to encourage them about how precious Christ within us and the Holy Spirit within us is. He had just talked about us being like jars of clay, okay, holding a treasure of Jesus Christ. Then he goes on to say in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8, we are pressed on every side by troubles, but we are not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. Through suffering, our bodies continue to share in the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be seen in our bodies. Yes, we live under constant danger of death because we serve Jesus, so that the life of Jesus will be evident in our dying bodies. So we live in the face of death, but this has resulted in eternal life for you. But we continue to preach because we have the same kind of faith the psalmist had when he said, I believed in God, so I spoke. Then going down to verse 16, that is why we never give up. Listen. Do you ever grab your kid's face and listen to me? Listen to your mother. That's what I'm doing right now. Listen. That is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. For our present troubles are small and won't last very long. Yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them and will last forever. So we don't look at the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on things that cannot be seen. For the things we see now will soon be gone, but the things we cannot see will last forever. Now, listen to me. I was listening to an interview with Alice Cooper. Okay, it was Greg Laurie. Is that his last name? Interviewing Alice Cooper, the heavy metal rock guy. Okay, remember him? I never got into his music, but I mean, I knew who Alice Cooper was. He's a believer in Jesus Christ, a solid believer in Jesus Christ now. Grew up, his daddy was a preacher, so was his granddaddy, but I'm not going to go through all of that. You can look at it on YouTube. He's done several interviews about his belief in Jesus Christ now. And it's not a casual belief. It's like, I'm all in. Okay? One of the things Greg asked him, he said, how would you describe Jesus then? And it's not, who is Jesus to you? Because I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't get to say who Jesus is to me. I mean, look, you don't know who Jesus is? Read this, all right? But how would you describe Jesus in your life? Kind of a testimony thing for those Baptists out there who just love that word testimony. All right? I'm just joking. I'm joking. Anyway, what Alice Cooper said, which I found very profound, was Jesus is the very core of everything. I revolve around him. He's the very core of everything. And everything revolves around him in my life. Everything, because he is the light. And he illuminates the darkness. And I was thinking about our commitment to Christ is like that. He is the very center of everything. My life, the universe. This morning, y'all, I got up early in the morning. I get up early in the morning. But at 5, I went outside to watch falling stars because the meteor shower is supposed to be at its peak tonight and tomorrow. But there was some this morning. There was one, I was praying to God, asking him some things. Suddenly, y'all, this was amazing. There was this shooting star, falling star, shooting meteor, whatever you want to call it. It was so bright. It streaked. It had a tail of stardust, and then it was gone. But it left, you know how when your eyes readjust, and it left that white look as your eyes readjusted to the dark again? And it was like, this is me, child. I hear your prayer. Because my prayer was offered in tears. And he hears me, and he loves me. And he likes to visit with me, and he likes to watch stars with me, which is what I did this morning. And I would encourage you to have that kind of time with God. All right? And I know so many of you do. This passage in 2 Corinthians, it's hard. Be ready. It's not going to get easier keeping the faith. It's going to become harder. But we will remember that we are renewed every morning, even though our bodies grow tired and we long for our heavenly bodies. It's okay, because through suffering, faith grows. Through suffering, the cause of Christ is moved forward. But it's not fun when you're in the middle of suffering, and that's easier said than done. I understand. Do the best you can today in Jesus. I'm going to leave that with you. I think that's it. Stay safe, America. This is Gina Lima Charlie. I'm out.